Welcome and thank you for joining me. This is Laurie of Laurie's Heirloom Sewing. Today I'm going to be making a little zipper pouch with a pull on the end of the zipper. Before I do that though, I need to change my bobbin thread and then reload my machine with some new thread. Okay, so now for this little zipper pouch, what we're going to need are, this will be the outside fabric for me. So I have two 7 by 8 inch pieces. So each of these two pieces is cut 7 inch by 8 inch. I've also starched them, but I am going to add a little bit of lightweight interfacing. Okay, and then the lining is also Stitch and Sparkle cut at 7 by 8. Okay, there goes FedEx. So I have two lining pieces, 7 by 8. I have two outer pieces, 7 by 8. I have a zipper. Now the zipper should be at least 10 inches long. I have just been in love with this grass green color of this zipper. It was part of a YKK. I don't know if you can see that. It was a YKK zipper pack that I bought, I don't know if you can see it, on Amazon. Oh gosh, probably before Christmas of 2019. So I have had these a while. Today is June the 23rd, and I just fell in love with this color, and I think it looks nice with this. Now, this zipper is 14 inches long, so it's quite a bit longer than we're going to need because the design for this particular little zipper pouch has a good amount of the zipper off of the pouch. And then we put a little pull on the end, like that-ish. You need at least a 10-inch zipper. You know, you might want to start with a 12 and then cut it down. I always like to remove this little piece right here, the end stop. Okay, so, and then of course we need pins and clips and all of those sorts of things. So I'm going to go apply this. Oh, I've got one other piece to talk about. So these I cut at just a random size. They're the same size, but I don't want interfacing all the way to the edges of this project. Okay, so what I didn't mention is you don't have to have interfacing for this project unless you're using a fabric that is super fine, like Liberty of London or Barissima or super lightweight Batiste. And even in that case, you could probably just sew two pieces of fabric together, and that would give you about the same weight as this without interfacing. I've done that before and it works just fine. Okay, so we have our interfacing applied. The other thing I want to do is make a little pocket out of the main fabric for one of the lining pieces that go on the inside. Now, because these pieces of fabric are cut 7 by 8, we have to make sure that we have everything going in the proper direction. So this would be 6, 8, there should be 7. All right, so this is the 7. So we want the 8 inches on the top and the bottom. So just make sure that as you're going, because it's kind of hard to gauge that, just make sure that this is 7 inches and this is 8 inches. And this is my pocket, which is just a scrap piece of fabric that I happen to have Okay, so the way I'm going to make the pocket is I'm going to fold it in half, right sides together, and I'm going to stitch up each of these short sides. Now I can tell you this piece of fabric happens to be 6.5 inches this way and 7.5 inches this way. It's just a random little piece of fabric that was left over from an earlier project. So I am finger pressing this right sides together so that I have it on the 7.5 inches wide, like this. So across the top is 7.5 inches. Okay, and I'm just going to stitch along these two raw edges here and here. I'm not going to worry about the bottom because it will be stitched into the project. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this little pocket to the right side. So right side's out, like this. Take a chopstick or something to poke the corners out, like that. Okay, so now I need to make sure that this is the longest side of my project, and it is. So I am going to line it up. If you wanted to really be precise, you could fold the pocket, or not even do a pocket, or you could fold your pocket in half and then fold your lining piece in half and then match the fold lines, but I feel pretty confident that I'm able to gauge that little bit on either side. Okay, and I'm going to pin this down just maybe in a couple places across the top. Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch down each of these sides. So along this side and along this side. This is the opening to the pocket, so I wouldn't be stitching that down. And now you could decide, do you want to split this pocket in half with another line of stitching and have a small pocket on this side and a small pocket on this side, or just do a smaller pocket on the very end for perhaps a pen or a pencil or a stylus. That's always a good idea. I think I will do that. So I'm going to use my trusty paintbrush as a measuring device. And remember, it needs to be the size of the item plus the size of the item plus the size of the item. So if my paintbrush was to be placed in this, then this line would be right here. Okay, so I'm going to take where I have put this pin, put this right up underneath my presser foot, and then remove the pin, letting the machine be a helper in that way. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch and then back up and then stitch again. Now I think I missed it one little. Okay. All right, so now if the recipient of this bag, you know, has an item like this that needs to fit in there, that will fit quite nicely. So, all right, so that part is done, and now we will be moving on. So what we're going to do is pin back the little tab at the end of your zipper into a triangle shape. So, for example, on this side, you will be folding it this way when you're attaching it to the fabric. Just that little point just goes back to a triangle like that. Okay, I've got my zipper all the way open because my zipper pull on this YKK zipper is very, very big and clunky underneath my sewing machine needle, and I don't want anything to interfere, so I just opened it up and I'm going to stitch this down, being very mindful of where my zipper teeth and everything are located. When I get to here, I'm going to kind of curve my zipper off of this, and I'm just going to keep stitching straight. If you chose to do a pocket, you want to make sure that it's at the bottom, not across the top. That sounds obvious, but I've done it. I really, really have. All right, so we will sandwich. Okay, so now I am going to restitch along the zipper that I just did with my lining on top, right sides together. And you just have to be really careful when you're doing this because, you know, you can't see exactly where you're going, and you don't want to hit any metal pieces with your sewing machine needle. So let me get you where. Okay, so go slowly. What looks like this with our zipper out of the way like that. Okay, so next step here is okay, so this is what we should have at this point. It's going to feel and look a little awkward to have this business going on, but you will like it. So next step is to pull these so that your lining pieces are together and your outer pieces are together. Okay, so we're at that point where we're going to take the ends of this zipper and we're going to tuck it in, because we don't want to sew over the ends of the zipper. We are going to be stitching all the way around our little pouch, and we need to keep the zipper out of the way so that we can do that as I go, keeping that zipper tail out of the way. Okay, and then across the bottom, we're going to leave an opening through which we can pull our project to the right side. And don't forget, I have a pocket. It's not a necessary pocket, it's just I decided to add it. Okay, so I'm going to start stitching about right here. To leave an opening. Okay. Now make sure that you clip your corners, not through your stitching, just to get rid of excess fabric. Right, so now we are going to turn it and don't forget I have a pocket, so I've got to make sure that on the lining I'm not going into the pocket, which I was. So there we go. All right, and this can sometimes be a little challenging. So I'm using a chopstick to turn out these corners. I want them nice and sharp. And these down in here. Threads. All right, next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and stitch the bottom. Okay, so there's a little pocket that is now finished across the bottom. Oh, I did. Two things left to do. So this is how it looks at this point, which I think it's just really cute. Really, really adorable. Perfect for a purse. I like the way this opening works out right here, and I do like the larger pull. It's kind of to sew on a bag this small, but it just gives a lot of heft and weight to it. So now we are going to cut the tails of our zipper. about 2 inches from the end of our bag. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just around 2.25 inches. Cut it straight across, like that. And then take your little tab that you cut, the little zipper pull, you want to make sure you're going to put this piece of fabric right sides facing you on the back side of the zipper, and you want to make sure that you're able to wrap around the zipper and then clip. So however wide your zipper is, you just need to make sure that you've got this right here and not this. This is too much fabric. So I'll need to trim that down. Perfect. Just like that, and then clip it, and then we're just going to stitch across. And you'll have to remove those clips, of course. Okay, and then we're going to pull this around and press these to the inside like this, and then fold that tab down fold it on top of itself, and then we're going to stitch all the way around. Okay, we're at the point of choosing a zipper. This fabric is Rose & Hubble, manufactured by David Textiles, and I don't see a date, and that is your colorway. Alright, so I went ahead and applied the lightweight interfacing to the 2 outside pieces. And we do need to remember that across the top and the bottom are 8 inches, and up and down the sides is 7 inches. So it's more of a rectangle, less of a square. And I chose to have the stripes on this project go up and down as opposed to side to side. Okay. And then I also have the little piece that I cut for our zipper pull. Okay, and if you remember, we fold back the end of the zipper so that it is the so that the pinked edge is on line with the top of our project. And then do your pin vertically. Okay. And you will need a zipper foot. And remember, we're going to pull the zipper off to the side and then continue sewing straight. We don't really have to worry too much. We just don't want it to flop back on itself. So I just kind of hold it like that and sew straight off. So it should look like this, with this coming up out of this area right here, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do the second side. Okay, so on the second half, I decided to do the top and the outer and the lining piece at the same time. So I'll show you how to handle the zipper when you get to this point where you're going to kind of curve the zipper out of the way. And I'm attaching both the outer and the lining piece together at the same time this time, so I can show you what that looks like. See, my zipper has not been stitched down, and I'm just going to kind of curve it out of the way about right here. And then just sew straight off. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go press these down nice and flat. I'll be right back. Okay, so your project at this particular point should look something similar to this. And next steps would be to pick up the top or the outer two pieces like this. So we're here with the zipper right down the middle, and we're just going to pick up the top two pieces and then flip this way. This right here has to be kept out of the way. We don't want to sew this. So we'll just tuck it in like that and make sure it's not going to get stitched anywhere in the process of putting these two pieces together or these two pieces together. It needs to just be kept safely out of the way. You can mark if you've got a friction pin or something that responds to heat. Just make yourself a reminder. Sometimes you can just put a pin in place there to remind you. If you want to box the corners or the bottom edge, that would be something you would do at this point. Okay, so once you have the bag pulled out like this, I recommend that you take a chopstick, go in through that opening and push out those little corners on your boxed bottom edge. There's the little boxed bottom. It looks quite nice, and it does help it to stand up. Okay, so we need to finish this opening that we left, and for that we'll just simply turn the raw edges to the inside, machine stitch, unless you prefer to do that by hand, which of course you could. Alright, now push it down in there, get those little boxed corners lined up and pushed in together like that. Alright, so here's what we've got so far. It's a cute little pouch. The next step is to cut this zipper from the end of your little bag about 2 inches out. And that's not really an exact measurement, it's just a suggestion. So if you wanted it to be longer or shorter, you can certainly do that. Alright, so now we're going to take this little tab that we cut. We're going to line it up so that our bag looks like this. The right side of this needs to be facing us, and right about the center, and then fold over each edge to where the zipper teeth begin, and put a clip and another clip so that it looks like this. Okay, and take it to the sewing machine, and a good 5/8 inch or so. You really want to make sure that you're capturing the zipper tape and the teeth. So make a good wide seam here to make sure that it's all captured. Alright, and now pull this over so that you have this. These sides should just naturally curl into the inside. You can press them if you'd feel more comfortable doing so. And then up here at the top, fold that down. So you want the side folded all the way to the end, and then the top portion folded down. Okay? Then we're going to fold the entire tab in half. And clip, and do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of fold the whole thing right in half and clip, so that that's what you're looking at right there. Needs to be nice and flat. And then sew across here, up the side, across the top, and down the side. Top stitch all the way around the top. because the zipper is not in the way, which really makes it nice. And there's our cute little pouch that will stand up all by itself. And it's lined. So it would be cute for just about anything. If you wanted to walk your dog, you could put dog treats in there. If you wanted to just go to the store, you have this cute little bag for your payment and your keys. I think it's just really sweet and fun to make. And honestly, I think this whole thing today, from start to finish, it's been about an hour. And I didn't really, because I had to choose the zipper. So there were some other decisions that I had to make while I was thinking about it. So that's a really fast little project. Fun to do. I love the little tab here on the end. I like the way the zipper is installed. For many reasons. I think it's super cute. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you in the next video. If you watched, please like and subscribe. It really does help my little tiny growing channel, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you again.